If you are new to Python and looking for a way to build your first data web app to show to the world, you will stumble on Streamlit, a Python library to quickly develop your first analytics and machine learning app. A common path to learn 70% of its features is through the Streamlit 30-day challenge, a coding event from 2022 where each day had you experiment with a different Streamlit feature. But learning for 30 days is a bit odd for a library that sells itself as a faster way to build and deploy data apps. Hello data fan, I've been using Streamlit for 4 years now. So in this video, I will go through the 30-day coding challenge in one sitting without any preparation. You can code along with me, or play the video in the background while I explain each feature, share tips I got from my own experience, and show you how a long-time Streamliter actually uses the library. And you should be a Streamlit master in no time. Okay, let's get into the groove. Got some water, some chocolate, maybe we'll need them as we code. I got my timer ready. Timer is here. And I got my music, so let's get into the mood of coding. It may take you like 5-10 minutes to actually get into the groove, so just find a small routine, get yourself ready and prepared. Your 30 days of Streamlit in one sitting is going to start now. Day 1, setting up a local development environment. Install Conda by going to docs miniconda, choose your operating system, download and run the installer to install Conda. So if we go on miniconda documentation, miniconda is a free miniature installation of Anaconda distribution that only includes Conda. The Anaconda distribution is a big distribution for Python that includes a lot of Python libraries for data analysis and data science. And it comes with a small command line that is called Conda. And with Conda, you are able to manage like virtual environments in Python. You can create a Conda environment and a second Conda environment and a third Conda environment. And in the first Conda environment, you can install Streamlit, you can install TensorFlow, you can install a lot of different packages. And in a second isolated Conda environment, you can install other packages like Gradio, like Panel, like just list a few Python packages. And in the third Conda environment, you can install other packages. You can even install not Python specific libraries, but like system dependent libraries like MongoDB or Git or wget. You can install those in a third Conda environment. So when you need those specific libraries, you activate the third Conda environment. When you need to code in Python for data analysis, you use the first Conda environment, and you use the second Conda environment for something else. So this is what people use Conda for. You don't have to use Conda if you're already using your own Python environment and package manager. I'm using UV personally. You can be using Poetry. You can even use virtual env. I'm going to quickly show you the Conda part in shell, even if I'm not using Conda. So it will look like something like this. It is going to look like this. We're going to open a new command prompt. It should be called the Anaconda prompt. It's going to open a new shell for you, a command line, and you have some specific commands to browse through the files. So for this example, you need to move into the folder where you're going to implement your Streamlit code. It may be, for example, cd workspace / I don't know what I have in actually I don't know what is here. I have nothing. Let's make dir workspace, and I will be going to workspace, and maybe I am creating a new folder that is called Streamlit apps and going in there. Okay, oops. So in Streamlit apps, I will be building my Streamlit apps, and when you run Conda, it's going to show you a lot of things. When you don't know what to do with a command line, the first thing I tell my students is to ask for the help of the command line. So you can type Conda -- help. Do you say hyphen? I don't remember. Help me. and it's going to show you all of the commands that you can run after conda, like conda activate, conda deactivate, conda create, conda list. And if we go back, they're going to tell us we need to conda create a new environment. So this is where you use conda create and give it a name. I will name it stenv, and we use Python 3.9 for this. We can use 10 if you want to, or 11. You can choose the Python environment you want to install in this conda environment. Just install everything it needs. And this is global to your system. Actually, it's not per folder, so it's not installed in your folder. You can activate it from wherever you want on your operating system. It's not like virtual environment or UV or Poetry, which are kinda isolated per folder. So you can use those conda environments everywhere from your operating system. Here I've got my conda environment ready, so I'm going to activate it. Conda activate stenv, and you should see it on the left in brackets. The stenv is visible, so this is telling you the conda environment is activated. And now you can install Streamlit. So now, whoosh, now we can install Streamlit. Just to make sure it is properly installed, again, don't know a command line, Streamlit, something happens, we are happy. You can try it out demo with Streamlit hello. I personally prefer to always ask for help. So Streamlit help, and there you go, you still got the help. Nice. Okay, let's ask for Streamlit hello. Yay, welcome to Streamlit. Check out our demo in your browser. So you go click on the link, localhost 8501, and oops, I forgot to do something. It should show you a Streamlit app. Wait, I'm going to show you. Okay, there's also, while I'm creating this new conda environment, because I forgot to expose the port, don't be scared of the command line. As you can see, I can just copy paste the comments from the documentation into the command line. It's not like when you're using, the Anaconda navigator, which is the user interface for Anaconda that some of you may be used to. You may forget to go on a button, click on a button, try to install packages from a scrolling menu. You try to install Streamlit and the installation fails. You don't see the logs immediately. Sometimes you need to go browse through the logs of the user interface. So it's not as smooth as just copy pasting everything on command line like this, stenv, and running it from copy pasting commands. It's a little bit easier. It takes a bit of time to get used to it, but when you're used to command line, it becomes like instant. So try to get used to command line. Now Streamlit hello. Okay, now it should finally show something. And there you go. You got your Streamlit hello. Streamlit is an open source app framework. It should have opened on localhost 8501. There's some links, and in the sidebar on the left, you get to see the data frame demo. Very nice demo. You get to see a plotting demo with a progress bar, a mapping demo, and you can see below, you can see all of the code. There it is. You can already copy paste this code into VS Code. It should work. Day 2, building your first Streamlit app. Fire up your IDE. It can be Atom, VS Code, Gitpod, GitHub Dev. It could be PyCharm. It could be whatever you want. As long as you understand how to run Python scripts from there, you should be fine. I will be using VS Code because that's my main IDE. So let's create a new file called streamlit_app.py. That's not the correct name. Streamlit. Yeah, there you go. There's a reason for the name actually, but I'll tell you later. I think it appears in the future days. You may notice on the bottom right, it tells me to select my Python environment, the Python environment I want to use for this script. Right now, I have no environment, so I need to create a new one. So I'm going to open a terminal. This is like opening the Anaconda prompt on your side. I'm just doing it from my VS Code. Okay, so I created my virtual environment, and now I can select my virtual environment. And if all goes well, when you type Streamlit, import Streamlit as st, I may need to reload this way. If all goes well, you see when you import Streamlit as st, it should connect to your virtual environment or your Conda environment. It should notice that the Streamlit package is correctly installed, and it will tell you that the import Streamlit as st works correctly. So if you see that it's underlined with a red, and when you hover it, it tells you that Streamlit is not installed, just make sure your virtual environment or your Conda environment is correctly linked to your script. Now we can write hello, hello world, save the file and fire up a new command line. So I'm going to do it from there. Normally, if all goes well, you should already see your Conda environment activated in the terminal. You can do it manually. You can still do your Conda activate stenv just to make sure it's activated. It should already be done for you. Now you can run your Streamlit, run, and the name of your app, streamlitapp.py. Make sure you're doing this from your folder, the folder where you've got your Streamlit scripts, and then enter this. And yes, I'm going to put it on the side like this. There you go. You got your ST-Write on the left, and on the right you got your Streamlit application in the browser with Hello World printed in the app. Now what you can do is you can just add something, Hello World vanilla, and it's going to ask you if you want to rerun the file or always rerun every time you save the file. So my preference here is to always rerun, so that anytime you change something in the script, you can see the immediate results on the right. And now you can play, just try to play, write some stuff, you know. You don't have to follow the tutorial exactly. Try to play with it, have some fun. Like my name is Potato. Now my name is Potato. Yeah, just, you know, before jumping to the next tutorial, try to get a good feeling of the current tutorial, the current step of the tutorial you're at. Okay, I think we're done. You got your first Streamlit app. Small win. Celebrate a small win with a chocolate. Not yet, but but if you need to, just, yeah, okay. Grab a chocolate and let's move to the next step. Day 3, ST button. ST button allows the display of a button widget. We're going to build a simple app that prints goodbye if you're not clicking on a button and hello there when you click on the actual button. Let's go. Maybe we can remove the hello vanilla potato, etc. Up, 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 close the string. Oh, there's a new command. There's a new header. So st header of st button. So this is a new command that shows a header. It's like a title, but smaller with st button. You can read, you know, just, you don't have to follow exactly. Click on this button. And that's how you improve in coding. Follow the tutorial, but not exactly. Now, if st button, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to, I'm not going to totally follow the tutorial. Actually, I am going to build a new button. Click me. Now I've saved and the button appears. I can click on it, nothing happens. So let's enter this in a Python variable like clicked, button clicked. Let's call it button clicked, okay? Click me, saved, button clicked. And just for fun, let's try to show the content of button clicked. Save. Right now it's false. And if I click again, it becomes true. Okay? And now, in the menu on the top right, if you want to play with it, there's a button or a shortcut for R to rerun the app. So if you press R, it's going to rerun the app just like if you saved the script, and now it goes back to false, because you rerun the script from top to bottom, and the button click hasn't been clicked, so it's back to false. So let's use this at our advantage. This st_right, we're going to stay here, and now we can put our if-else condition. So if clicked, button clicked, sorry. If button clicked, this means if the button was clicked, I am going to write, why hello there, why hello you. And I'm going to add an emoji because why not? And then else, we're going to say goodbye. Goodbye. Save. And now it's goodbye because the button is false. And when you click on the button, the variable becomes true. And you can see the why hello there. I can add, if I do an f string like this, with the f string, you can build a string, and any Python variable that you want to put in the string, you put it in angled brackets, square brackets, I don't remember how you say this. This is to tell Python that this should use the content of the Python variable. And now I can pass button clicked. So button clicked false, goodbye. And click me, button clicked true, why hello you. And if you rerun, goodbye. Okay. Now this is the very important part in Streamlit. The way I imagine Streamlit is it's like a Python looper. Every time you interact with a widget on the app, like this button, you can put a second button if you want, click not me, like this, and second button clicked. Every time you interact with a button, it's going to rerun the script from top to bottom. So if you click on this first button, the button clicked here becomes true, and you go here. And if you click on the second button, it reruns the script. Button click goes back to false because it wasn't clicked this time. And the second button clicked becomes true because that was the button that was clicked. And because the button clicked is now false, well, we are going back to the goodbye. So always remember that you're just looping on the script. Every time you interact with something in your app, it reruns the script. It's looping on it. This is just the single most important part of Streamlit. If you understand this, you will unlock everything in Streamlit, like no joke. Now we're done. Let's go back to our day 4. Day 4, building a Streamlit app with Kenji. I'll let you watch the video when you have time. I'm not going to watch it here. Let's go to day 5. I love shortcuts. st_write. st_write allows writing text and arguments to the Streamlit app. So st_write is basically your print method. When you want to print something in the app, you use st_write. Let's go back to our code. There's some more imports. Let's add our header st_write first. And write down our first sentence, like complicated sentence. Hello world with some stars and sunglasses. Let's save and see what happens. This prints the text I'm going to remove this comma. This prints the text in italic, and there's the emoji for sunglasses. So this is following Markdown convention. Because it's following Markdown convention, when you want to put something in bold, you use 2 stars. When you want to put something in italic, you put 1 star. If you want to build bullet points, you're going to put star the sentence, etc. So hello world, and this is an emoji. You can also use the normal emoji system. This is your, I don't remember the name, the emoji short code or something. You can Google it, you will find the short code for each emoji, and you can copy paste the short code as a string, like sunglasses, to have it display with the emoji. Okay, nice. Next, let's display the results of, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then save again. And the result is 700776626. Yeah, we know how to write down numbers. And next, we are going to build a data frame. And to showcase a data frame, we need to import our data frame library called pandas. So import pandas as PD. This is convention. You can call it whatever you want instead of PD, but just get, again, most of the tutorials we're going to see around pandas use this convention. We're going to build a new data frame called df, another convention, df data frame, PD of data frame. We're going to put the content of the first column and the second column. The first column, let's pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the second column, I want to put 6, 7, 8, 9. We have, no, 10, I forgot. And did I forget something? Yes, this should be a dictionary. Oh, you can see I didn't. You'll notice if you save and there's a problem with your code, like here, it tells you there's a problem, the error will actually appear in your app. You will see the script execution error that tells you it's an invalid syntax on line 11. And that's because this should be a dictionary. So let's open a dictionary and close a dictionary. And there you go. We got our data frame. We didn't write it. We didn't print it on the app. So STWrite of the data frame. And here's our data frame. First column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second column, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can do stuff with it, search inside and etc. But let's, we can sort by first column, second column. We'll discover that later. Now let's write some more stuff. Write. What are we writing? You can put multiple things in the right. Like for example, here's the before, comma, df, comma, after, with a small emoji, like tada. And there you got your before, then your data frame, then your after. So STWrite of like a list of variables, one after another, it is all going to display as if you have your STWrite of before, then your STWrite of df, then your STWrite of after. Nice. Oh, and finally, we are building a graph. I think I will remove this. This is not necessary. And we are building a new data frame, pandas data frame of, oh yeah, I need to. So here we're using numpy for np. So let's import numpy as np. Again, another convention for numpy, which is your Python library for manipulating arrays and vectors and multi-dimensional tensors. Very popular in machine learning libraries. Also something that you will slowly but surely discover. Let's see numpy of a random array. Numpy random and of 203. And honestly, I don't know what that returns. So let's first add our columns A, B, C. A, B, C. Then don't demonetize me, YouTube. Columns A, B, C. Let's save this. This np random ran the end of 203. If you don't know what it returns, you can just print it, to put it here, store it in a new variable array, and print it. Just print it. Print it. Not print it, I still write it. And there you go. np random random of 203 returns 3 columns, 0, 1, 2, of 200 rows of random numbers between, I guess, minus, let's sort by column, -4, -5 to, yeah, -4, -5 to something like 4, 5. This is actually how I use Streamlit most of the time. I don't know what this package is doing. I just print it in a Streamlit app and just play with it. And here, for example, we are going to build a new chart using the Altair library. So let's import Altair as alt, create a new chart, alt chart over the data frame, and mark all of the data points as circles. So each data point here is going to become a circle. And we need to encode the properties of the circle using the data frame columns. So let's encode. We're going to tell it that the x-axis of the circle will use column A, the y-axis will use column B, and the size we use column C. Yeah, apparently I also need the color, C, and I will also write the df because I want to see how it looks like. Let's remove this array and let's save just to make sure that we're on a good track. We got A, B, C with a lot of coordinates, and let's write our chart. And here is your chart with the column A, column B, and the column C is the size and the color, apparently. And the tooltip will show you ABC. And this is an Altair chart. And you can, I don't remember how you add a title. You can try to add that to show a title. I don't know if it's like this. I don't remember. Let's, fingers crossed. It's hello. Hello, oh, it worked. Yeah. See? Yeah. This is exactly how I play with Streamlit. Really, when you're using Streamlit, imagine Streamlit as your Python playground. You want to test something in Python, you open a Streamlit app, and you build your code, you save. Every time you save, you try to see what happens in the app, and then you try building over it. And see how fun it is, at least for me. It is fun for me. Hopefully you're having fun too, right? It's less fun when you don't really know what's the name of the title, like this, and it tells you that chart has no parameter named height. Existing parameter names are data, mark, height, encoding, and some quotes, I don't know. But for this, maybe you can, you have GitHub Copilot, so you can enable completion for GitHub Copilot, and then maybe if you remove this and you ask, GitHub Copilot is going to tell you title as scatterplot. Combination of Streamlit and GitHub Copilot, crazy powerful. Have I talked too much? Let's go back to our day 5. 6. Uploading your Streamlit app to GitHub. If you want to do it, you go to, okay, I will show you very quickly. You go to GitHub and you create a new repository on the top right. Create a new repository. You call it potato. And you create the repository. And what does it ask you to do? Add a README file. Nope, I forgot. and upload the files to the GitHub. So you're going to add file, upload file, where like creating a new file, uploading an existing file. So upload an existing file, you're going to drag and drop your Streamlit app, sandbox code, sandbox, my Streamlit app is here. Let's upload it. And give it a name, upload Streamlit app. So this will commit a new change to your GitHub repository. GitHub is like your public repository of code. Every developer here, whenever we're creating side projects or bigger projects, we are uploading our code to GitHub, and other people can collaborate on GitHub using the git commands. So when I push my code to GitHub, other people can pull my code from GitHub and actually edit my code and then push back some changes. Okay, I need to accept the changes. I'm not going to accept the changes from everyone out there, but you can, if you want, you can push me some code changes if you want to. But for you, if you're a beginner, use GitHub mostly to check out the code from other people, other Streamlit apps. You can go check my own Streamlit apps in my GitHub repository. You'll find a lot of them actually in my profile. I think it's called social media tutorials. I've got a big dump of Streamlit apps that you can check just to get used to reading Streamlit code. But yeah, Streamlit CSS background, go check the code, and yeah, a lot of code. I totally forgot to commit my changes. Anyway, this will be useful for later. But now let's head to day 7. Deploying your Streamlit app with Streamlit Community Cloud. So this is where it all culminates to. Streamlit Cloud is, if you go click on it, Streamlit Community Cloud is your hub for deploying your own Streamlit apps. It is very easy to use. Let's sign in. I've got already a bunch of Streamlit apps deployed. I even got my profile on Streamlit Cloud. Let's go back to our app. So you can deploy any Streamlit app on Streamlit Cloud for free. You're just using very small machines. You have got no GPU or stuff. But if you want to deploy your small Streamlit app to show it to the world, you can do it from Streamlit Cloud. So you're going to create an app on the top right, deploy a public app from GitHub, and here you can go and look for your repo. I forgot my potato, I think is potato. Yeah, I didn't push an app, so this is sad. I'm okay, I am going to do it. I didn't want to do it, but here it is. Okay, my Streamlit app is now on GitHub, and now I can select the potato again. And now my branch is called main. This is my branch main in GitHub. Main file path, and this is where you understand the streamlit_app.py. This is the default path that Streamlit Cloud is going to search for in your repo for a Streamlit script. So here, yes, we're going to use Streamlit app, and then you can put a app URL like potato. Okay, yeah. Potato 123. Perfect. You've got some advanced settings. You can put your specific Python version and some secrets. I think we're going to talk about it later. So let's save and let's deploy. Your app is in the oven. While it is building, you can check the logs in the bottom right black box. You can open it and you can see here the logs for potato 123 Streamlit. Provisioning, preparing, installing Streamlit, using UV pip install, and it's installing Streamlit and a bunch of other packages. And you got in the menu, you can download the full log, check the analytics of the app, reboot the app, delete the app, check the settings. You can manipulate the settings of your app. And then here, there's the link, and you can just copy and paste this link to other people. Like, send this to your best friends, family, co-workers, managers, professors, me. And there you go. STWrite, hello world. I don't remember this. Oh, this I think is Altair and data frame. I don't know why it's taking so much time. You can see it in the log. Yeah, okay, whatever. And there's a share button, there's a favorite button, there's an edit button, and there's the link to the repo. Day 8. I think this deserves a chocolate. Chocolate. Delicious. ST slider allows the display of a slider input widget. We're building an app that shows the various ways to accept user input with a slider widget. That sounds nice. So let's get to work then. Let's remove all of those imports that are not useful anymore. We're putting a new header for ST slider. At this point, you're used to this ST slider. Oh, we're discovering a new subheader method, slider, which builds a subheader. So here's a header, here's a smaller header or a subheader. And now we build our new slider, which is called how old are you? And it should slide from 0 to 130 with a default value of 25. And here is your slider. Woohoo! Yeah! Okay, I was happy sliding, but this is useless. So let's store the result in the age variable. And then you know what we do? When we don't know what to do, we print. So let's print STWrite age 49. So when I slide and release, when I slide the slider, becomes 44, 65, 94, 73. So every time you are sliding the slider, it is going to rerun the script from top to bottom. So when I release the slider at 28, it reruns this header, subheader, age, store the 28 in here and print it here. And then if you want, you can put a F string to say I'm, inject a Python variable and close it, and I'm 20 old. I'm 20 years old. Okay, up, 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 up. And then maybe we can put this in bold. I'm 95 years old. I am 49. Next is the ST subheader. Let's have it as a range slider. Range slider. Here's a new slider where instead we schedule an appointment, and instead of using like numbers like this, when you use 0 to 100, it generates from 0 to 100. Instead, did I jump something? Yeah, because it's not appointment, it selects a range of values. But anyway, I'm going to put it like this, 0 to 100. So here is your start, here is your end. If here, as a default value, you put 2575 instead of just 25. If you put 25, it starts at 25. If you put a tuple of 2 elements like this, it starts with a default value of a range of 25 to 75. And here you can move it as a range of values. If you store it here, let's call it values equals, I don't know what this value is, so I just write it down as always. Values, it's a tuple of 20 to 61. 20, 79, 47, 79. The way to retrieve the first coordinate or the second coordinate of a tuple is to ask for it. 0 to get the 47, 1 to get the 79. And now, instead of using 2575, we can use time. We can use time like this. Oh, it's a 0, by the way. I need to up 49. Let's use some datetime properties. So from datetime, we are going to import the time, and we are going to import the date time. First, we are going to use the time, so values. We're going to remove the start and end, and instead we are going to immediately inject a time of 11 o'clock 30 and a time of 12:45. And here it knows, because it's a range of times, it will put a start and an end of midnight to midnight, and you can still circulate, and you can see the 11:15, 6:15, and because this is a time, you can use all of your time methods, like format string to format time or GTC offset. I don't know what this does. Not very useful. None. Anyway, this is a great way to book an appointment with me. And then you can also use a date time, because you want to put a meeting for Monday or Tuesday. So I am going to put the first value. I'm going to apparently not make it a range and ask for a schedule on the 1st of January at 9:30. I am going to put back the values here, and there you go. We are now selecting a date at a time of 9:30. This is perfect. You can change the way it formats the value of the slider by using the format equals month, day, year with a hour and minutes. Oops. And there you can see it formats with the month, the day, and the year, and the hour with a lot of, how do you call that? 2 dots, I don't know, 30. Yoo-hoo! There you go. You have unlocked a new widget. You can probably start inventing some crazy stuff here. I will let you play with this widget while we move up to the next day. Enjoying the video so far? Well, thank the sponsor of today's video, which is myself. Subscribe for more Python web app content, and if you want to help even more, you can pay me some coffee to help me edit the next video. ST-line chart. Ooh, we are getting into some pretty nifty things. ST-line chart is syntax figure around ST Altair chart. You remember how we used Altair beforehand, but you didn't really know how to use this mark circle and encode with X, Y, and Z and the size and color. Well, Streamlit has got this covered for you. Streamlit has 4 different charting possibilities. You've got the line chart, a rear chart, scatter chart, I think, and bar chart. Here we are going to use the line chart. Let's go for it. Create a pandas data frame. So because we need pandas, we are going to load pandas. st header of a line chart. We love using title. I don't know why it's header, by the way, because you've got the title method. So let's use the title method. Let's put some cool plots. Is there a plot? No, like dashboard, charts. There you go. Line chart. There you go. Title with a line chart. Let's first create our chart data. Chart data equals pandas data frame of np random rand and columns ABC. By the way, instead of creating your own data frame, I'm going to write it just for you to better read it. Chart data. You can load your own pandas data frames. At this point, if you've got some Excel file that you want to use, you can go for it. You know, you can read some Excel file or read CSV of your own files and then use this instead. Now, I don't think I have any, and I want to follow the tutorial, so I'm going to follow it. But you know, you can feel free to use your own data set for this. And now we are going to use the line chart method. Chart data. And what it does, I'm going to head 3 because I only want to show the first 3 rows of the data frame. And now I'm going to plot the chart. And now you can see you got A, B, C being plotted as a line chart. It's a bit not very readable. Here is it better? Here we've got for the row 97, we got the value for color C, for the column C, and then the value for the column A should be somewhere like here. This is column B, and column A is under column A with the value for each of them. Or for the 0, if there is index 0, color C, you got your O29, color A. Okay, I'm not going to find them as easily as I wanted. It's interactive, so you can zoom. Maybe that's easier. 0, color C, color A, color B. There are more, you know, if you go and study, you can change the color, the data, the height. You can put a height of 600, for example. This is a huge one. If you need help on a method because you don't know how to use it, for example, this line chart, I don't know what I can do with it, you can just use the st-help and invoke the st-line chart in st-help. Let's hide this by commenting it. I'm also going to comment this. And here is the help for the line chart. This only displays the docstring of the method. So display a line chart. This is syntax sugar around stl_tire chart. And you can see everything you need. So the data, which is here, my chart data, the x, the column I want to use for my x-axis, my y-axis, and then you can change the labels, the color, where we are going, which column of the data frame we use for our colors, and the width of the line chart, the height, and use container width. I think we'll talk about it later. Yet again, Streamlit is your Python playground. You don't know NumPy random, ask for it. Here it is, directly multinomial. You got all of your classical probability distribution for random distribution. And then you can use the, I don't know, random integers. And there is your documentation. Okay. Data and st select box. Select box allows the display of a select widget. We are going to build a simple app to ask the user what their favorite color is. Well, okay, let's go for it. Import Streamlit. add a new title, because at this point we get used to put the title for everything. Select box. Maybe look for a box. Nah, gift. It's going to be a gift. We create a new select box with the label select color. And yeah, there's a mistake because I saved and I forgot to put, it's missing one required positional argument option. So I need to put a list of options. Let's add a list of options like red or blue or black. Save again, and there is your select box. Blue, black. And again, I want to see the value of the option. I'm going to write it down. Option, black, red, blue. Perfect. This is one of my favorite widgets, by the way. Let's, for example, go back to our pandas example. Import pandas as pd and import numpy as np. Let's build up our data frame again. At this point, you're used to our random rand n of 203 and the columns ABC. And maybe we can extract this into column names. Now we don't need to actually shape imply columns. There you go. So you got your data frame. You can print your data frame. Again, too many rows. Let's only show the first three. Oopsie. And here, instead of using the select box, you can have it select a column. Select a data frame column. And as options, if you want to see what kind of methods you can use on this data frame, you can even inject the data frame into the help. And here you're going to see the list of methods you can use on it. I think. Maybe not, actually. Okay, it tells you it's a data frame. It's not. Oh, it does here. In the bottom, you can see all of the methods you can use. And here you're going to find, for example, okay, I was searching for a way to find the columns, the list of columns. Columns, there it is, columns. You can request the name of all the columns from your data frame. So instead of putting our options, let's put the columns property. Remove this help, don't need it anymore. And now you've got your column data frames, A, B, C. And what is useful is instead of using this column, like you can rename this to selected column. And we can use this column in an ST-line chart. For example, put your data here, your df, and on X, we are going to use none. This is going to be the index of the row position, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the y-axis, we are going to only plot our selected column. And there you can see this is your column C. And if I change column, this is my column B. And here is my column A. That's a very cool little demo that already is very impressive for a manager. Let's get back to day 11. ST multi-select. So this is like select box, but with a lot of values. Let's delete all of this. And now we are good enough so we can rush through it. ST multi-select. Here's our title. Now we built at this point. You're an expert now, so you are an expert. Okay, up. to the end. And then here is your list of options. So again, red, blue, yellow, black, silver. At this point, you can ask what are your favorite Pokemon games? There you go. Yep, up, save. What are your favorite Pokemon games? And here you can select multiple games. You put all of those games, selected games, in a variable equals, and then you can, yep, there you go. Let's to write it. Selected games. Yellow, red, blue. And you know you can, this is a list, so you can just for game in selected games, and you can print selected game. Yellow, red, blue. And here, instead of writing the game, you can, I don't know, do an API call to some API to go fetch the, how do you say that? The cover for the game. That is a possibility. Okay, I am going to speed through the days because my camera doesn't have a lot of battery. So let's head to day 12. I'm guessing we're going through a lot of widgets, but those are like the most essential widgets. Day 12, ST checkbox. ST checkbox displays a checkbox widget. Well, let's go then. Okay, at this point, I'm too lazy to build every title. So, you know, check me checkbox. Up, there you go. Here's the checkbox. And we are going to write a subheader of what are you going to order. Ice cream. Apparently, checkbox. Ice cream. Yay! And now you've got your checkbox. There's a second checkbox for coffee. There's another one that the checkbox that I like. I think it's not toggle, but is it radio? I think it's radio then. Coffee. It's not radio. It is is it toggle? It is toggle. Sorry. Ice cream, coffee. Exactly the same behavior. Just this is a toggle button and this is a checkbox button. And then afterwards you can, you know, study if ice cream, and you can write down an ice cream. Ice cream. Delicious. Okay, plot the ice cream. And then up, if coffee, you can bring out the coffee. Not the coffin. There is your coffee. Okay, that is very interesting. Let's make it again a little more useful. Let's import back pandas and numpy. I should bring an external data set at this point. No, let's bring do I have a data set around? I'm not sure I have a data set. There's a stores Excel file. Let's check. I've got an Excel file, so maybe first I need to install a module to open Excel files. And then let's run back Streamlit app. The Streamlit app. Up. Hey, shh. Okay, get back. Let's df equals pandas read Excel of stores Excels and then print out this. I have no clue what is inside this, so I'm hoping it's a good file. Okay. And I think there you go, header 1. Okay, here's our file. So we've got a new Excel file with an unnamed column. I think there's a way to tell it to start on columns B, A, B, C, D, E, F, F to F. Use. There you go. One of the useful ways of using this toggle, for example, is for displaying a preview of this data frame. Like here, I am going to hide this preview if show preview. If this boolean is true, I am going to show the preview, and I can hide this behind a toggle. So here, show preview, save, and now show preview. It shows the data frame. Not show the preview, it doesn't show the data frame. Show, don't show, show, don't show. That's a pretty nifty thing to know. That's the way I use this checkbox or toggle button. I'm going to keep this data frame around because I like it. And maybe let's go to day 13. Spin up a cloud development environment. Sometimes you're too lazy to have your own local environment, like your own VS Code on your computer. Sometimes you're actually not on the computer with VS Code and Conda or UV or Python installed, and you just very quickly need to implement a Streamlit app that you have in your head. So instead, you can use Github to spin a new code environment in the cloud and implement everything in the cloud. So for here example, if you use the repo GitHub in a gitpod.io, you can actually code in Gitpod, but I think you need to authenticate with GitHub. I am too lazy to do this right now, so I'm going to jump this day and also change the battery of my camera. So take it as a break, 5-minute break for everyone. Try and relax, get some fresh air before we dive into day 14. Okay, back to work. How was your break? I hope it was good, because we're ready to go to day 14. Get back into music mode. Day 14, Streamlit components. Components are third-party Python modules that extend what's possible with Streamlit. You've got a huge list of Streamlit components. So components are JavaScript components that are embedded in Streamlit as Python libraries. So you can see WebRTC or AGGrid, WebRTC for streaming video and audio in Streamlit, AGGrid for interactive charts, data frame, in Streamlit, Authenticator, which is a third-party authentication system in Streamlit, a drawable canvas, Barfi, eChart, annotated text, elements, etc. There's a lot of Streamlit components. If you want to integrate a JavaScript library in Streamlit, you need to check the components tutorials to build your own components. There's a video on my channel also. So what Streamlit components are available? You can go install one which is called Streamlit Pandas Profiling. So let's install this. Go back to your terminal, maybe open a new terminal and pip install Streamlit. Yeah. Let's try out another component which is called Pigwalker or Pygwalker, which is apparently a Tableau-like software visualization for data frames. Let's hope it works. Display a Streamlit renderer of df. I don't know what the spec is in the spec IO. I just want it to work. Always rerun. So I downloaded Pigwalker. I'm importing the Streamlit renderer and I'm just calling the Streamlit renderer. And now I'm just hoping it works. Just open an Explorer. Oh, there it is. Here is your Pig Walker Tableau software. Let me show it in huge, in wide mode. If you go in the menu, in settings, you can put it in wide mode. You can also do it from code. I'll show you afterwards. And here you can drag and drop fields from Streamlit. I should have renamed this pandas profiling. Like put the stores in x-axis and employees in color and manager as y-axis. I am doing random things, and here you go. Wow, it's like having Tableau software or Power BI in Streamlit. Chicago, Kathleen, 4 employees, opacity, measure names. There you go. That's a Streamlit component. That's a great Streamlit component that you should definitely try. Oh yes, there's a way to put it in wide mode by using the set page config. If you want to, there's a layout equals wide, and here it is immediately in wide mode. Okay. Here's the pig walker. It's also the first component in the web page, so really useful. Yeah. Day 15. Still LaTeX. I don't do LaTeX, so I don't really care about LaTeX. But here's a demo anyway. There you go. You can display LaTeX. Wow, that's a beautiful formula. That was easy. I never use LaTeX, so I don't have anything to say about this. So let's head to day 16. Customizing the theme of Streamlit apps. Yes, because you may notice that it's always a white app. So let's, put some more colors. I'm going to copy paste the code. You see there's a button here on the top left of the code block. You can copy everything and then head to your VS Code or your PyCharm or whatever, and you can paste the code, and there it is. Customizing the theme of Streamlit apps by putting it in Streamlit config toml. There should be a slider in the sidebar. Oh, this is new. There wasn't any documentation on it, but here there's a slider that was hidden in the sidebar. So we have not seen this yet. I think it appears later. So let's remove that sidebar and display it here. Slider. Slider selects number from slider. So there are multiple ways of changing the theme. You can do it if you're a developer of the app. Let's reset this. You can do it from the settings here. There's an edit active theme. First of all, there's light and dark. You can go on dark mode or light mode, or you can edit the theme. Change the primary color to some kind of green. Okay, this can be some kind of red. Maybe not red, maybe yellow, gray. The text color may be blue because I like blue. And the secondary black color will be green. There you go. And then you can copy theme to clipboard and then paste it here, like this. Save again. And here is your magnificent theme. Magnificent. You've got this green, this blue. Mwah, mwah. Did I tell you about color design? So let's copy paste all of this. Okay, maybe not this because this is quite ugly. And let's open a new Streamlit config toml file here. Let's add our theme. I forgot the theme here. Save. And there you go. Just by saving, it applies the primary color, background color, secondary background color, and text color, and the font. There was a font. Yeah, there's a font. Sorry. There's a font. Let me put this back here. There you go. Now there's a new font, monospace font, and here's magnificent. Mwah, mwah. Yep. Select the number. It's yellow on blue. I mean, whatever. Oh. And yes, it's been an hour and 30 minutes. So I guess it's time to go to the next day. Day 17. Streamlit secrets. Streamlit secrets allows you to store confidential information such as API keys, database passwords, or other credentials. Because let's imagine you want to use a password or you want to use OpenAI here. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your password here equals stproj and your OpenAI key. And this is a bad practice. Also, I will also remove this theme because, yep, up. Not light mode. Don't go to light. Don't go to dark mode. Go back to light mode. And here we got this password. And this is a bad practice because imagine you push this onto GitHub. Well, you just publicly revealed your password to the world because anyone can pull code from GitHub. So never put your passwords, your API keys in the script. You need to put them in a file that you are never going to push to GitHub using gitignore or something, but just never push a password to GitHub. So instead, this is going to be put in a file inside Streamlit secrets tunnel. Here, I have my OpenAPI key, which is this skproj, and this file I will never push to GitHub. So there would be, for example, if you want to dive deeper into it, there will be a gitignore file where you specify that you don't want to push the .streamlit folder. That way, when you use the Git library, okay, I don't know what's happening here. The Git library, when you're doing Git add stuff, it is not going to add the .streamlit folder because there's a gitignore that prevents it from adding those files to a Git commit and a Git push to GitHub. So very useful. So we put our secret in the secrets tunnel file. How does it work on Streamlit Cloud if you cannot push those secrets in Streamlit Cloud? If you remember previously, there is a tab to an advanced settings where you could put secrets for a Streamlit project. So this is where you would put your OpenAPI key inside this menu instead of using files. And this menu is only accessible to you because you authenticated to Streamlit Cloud using your own Google or GitHub account. Now, how do I access the Streamlit secrets from my script? Because I want to use this password to connect to a database. Well, instead of hard coding this, you use the secrets method. And yeah, just password secrets method. And if you write your password, there you go. You got your JSON, your dictionary with OpenAPI API key, and you can access it. OpenAI API key, and you save. And here is your password, and you can use it to do a request. Imagine later you got your OpenAI to make calls. It's not installed right now. Then you can create a new client equals to OpenAI of, I don't remember, I think it's API key equals st secrets of OpenAI API key. And then you can use this client to create a completion. I don't remember the exact syntax. And here you put your prompt equals give me your number, whatever, and then you can use the results from this prompt. And this is going to use the API key that you specified in your secrets tunnel file. It's time to head for day 18. We are going to use a file uploader. By default, we upload files limited to 200 megabytes. So you know what? Now that we have a file to use that now stores Excel file from beforehand, let's actually upload this file to our Streamlit app. Call this Data Explorer. Data Explorer with a balloon because we like balloons. Balloons, Data Explorer. Okay, let's make a crazy app. What if we upload a file, put a multi-select to, choose the columns that we want to see from these files. Let's first import pandas because we know we are going to manipulate an Excel file anyway. And now we add our file uploader. And then here we choose a file. There you go, browse files. And here you can select the stores Excel file. Let's open this. Your Excel file is ready to go. So the script reruns from top to bottom, and now let's retrieve the contents of the file here. Uploaded file equals st file uploader. And now if uploaded file is none, so I prefer using this syntax. If it's none, put a warning like upload a file. I'm going to remove the file and then use the ststop method. This will stop the script. If you save, you see the uploaded file. If you run from top to bottom, you see this title, you see this file uploader, but there's no file uploaded, so this is going to be none. And because this is none, you see this warning, and here is the ststop, which is going to prevent anything else going on in the script. So if I put hello world here, it is not going to run because the ststop is preventing, as a barrier, is preventing the follow-up in the script. I'm not using the uploaded file is not none from the tutorial. So now let's data frame write this df, and df is going to be the pandas read Excel from the uploaded file. You can imagine this uploaded file as a path, like an unknown memory path to your uploaded file. Like you can imagine that Streamlit, a file uploader, when you choose a file, it will store it somewhere, and this uploaded file will be the path to this file that you uploaded. So now it's not none, so it's not going to through the ststop. So we got our df read Excel of uploaded file and stwrite df. And I need to specify the columns, like use columns equals b to f, I think it was, and header was 1. Oops, use cols, not columns. Here it is, store employees manager since flagship from an uploaded file. And now if you want to explore, you remember you can add your toggle, like toggle of data preview. You can store it in preview data equals, and if preview data, stwrite the df. And then before that preview data, you can put multi-select to choose columns to preview. And here you can put the df columns. And now here you can preview the store and the manager. Use this to store those in a preview columns like this. So now you've got your choose column to previews, df columns, and preview columns. And now you can use those preview columns inside your stwrite data frame. And now if I toggle the data preview, I can see store and manager, I can remove manager, I can add the scenes, I can add the flagship, and you see the data frame is being edited. So this always stays. You also notice that when the script reruns, every widget, like the file uploader, they conserve their state. This file uploader still using the same file. This multi-select still keeping the state of the different values in the front end, or the browser. The toggle is still the same, and when you rerun the script, the uploaded file is the same, the preview column stays the same, the preview data stays the same. If you remove the flagship, it reruns, uploaded file is the same, preview columns not the same, flagship has disappeared, preview data is the same, so you still see the preview. So it is very like a tricky interaction, but it works so well. Let's remove that data preview, and yeah, that's a good small win. That was a good day. Day 18, mwah, good day. Now it's time to go to day 19. How to customize the layout of your Streamlit app. Let's remove all of this. We don't need it anymore. Let's go back to blank, st title. Let's layout, baby. With layout, Streamlit provides you with a lot of new containers, new ways to locate your widgets inside containers. And we already met one beforehand. If you remember, we had an st slider. I'm really riffing from the tutorial at this point. Like slider, hello, 0, 100. What age are you? No, let's. How many? I don't know. How many chocolates did you eat? Goes from 0 to 100. And remember, this in a previous day was hidden in the sidebar. And the way we did this is by adding the sidebar container between the name of the slider and the st namespace. And now we got a new sidebar with how many chocolates did you eat. And you can edit this, and you can still store this in the chocolates choco eaten variable. There you go. How many chocolates did you eat between 0 and 100? And you can still print the value in a string. I ate choco eaten chocolates. I ate 67 chocolates. And you go to the sidebar. I ate 35 chocolates. This is the first way of locating your widget inside a container. The second way of doing it is by using the context manager or the word with. Maybe you've seen this with method before, with statement before. If you put a with st sidebar, everything that goes under it goes in the sidebar. So here, let's put this choco eaten sidebar slider in the sidebar, and let's add a header with a configuration header in the sidebar. And now let's lay out. I don't like the baby word actually. Let's lay out this. Put some hearts because love is great. Now if you go to the sidebar, you will see this header in the sidebar. The how many chocolates did you eat slider that you can still slide, and you can see the results updated from the I ate 16 chocolates. And again, whenever you touch the slider, it reruns from top to bottom. So it goes through this, through this, through this. Choco eaten becomes the value from the state of the slider, and it's integrated in the main page. So the with st sidebar is, personally, this is my preferred way of putting things in widgets in containers. It's by putting blocks of widgets inside a container using the with statement. So same thing, you can have a with st expander, which is another type of container, with a data preview in there. Remember, data preview, so let's, I'm beginning to like this example. So I'm going to reread, this df pd read excel of stores x as x. And in the expander, I am going to write down the df. Here's my data preview here, st right. I can add some more text, my Excel file. And if you open the data preview, my Excel file, my st right, here's my Excel file. I'm going to again add the header equals 1 and use calls equals b to h, b to f. And here you go, data preview, new container. If you open the container, you can see it. In sidebar, you can still slide the number of sidebar. I ate 60 chocolates. And you know what? This is an integer, so instead of eating chocolate, let's check how many employees. And we go to 0 to 12. And then what we can do, because we're running from top to bottom, if I want my employees here, if I want to put my number of employees here to filter the data frame the way I want to edit it, okay, employees. If I want to use this variable employees to edit my data frame, what is it? I ate employees. df of employees over employees, like if it's over 10, we're going to see 10, 11, 12. If I want to use employees here, I have to put this code before, like this. And here, you can now use the employees slider. So if I use the sidebar, I want all 7 employees, and I get the 10, 12, and 11. And I ate 7 chocolate. I selected more than employees. I think it's better. There you go. 2, 2. There are better ways to store this employees variable, because here it's very dependent on the order of how you call the variables. If this is below, like for example, if we remove this from the sidebar, yeah, I'm going off tangent here, but you see that the slider needs to be over the data frame because it's running from top to bottom, so this needs to be before. So you will also always have the slider on top of the data frame because you cannot put it at the bottom. Here, it tells you that employees doesn't exist. So there's a way, there are multiple ways actually. There are 2 ways, to be honest. The first way is to put this in another type of variables that we will see later that you can access from everywhere in the app. And the second version is there's a specific container named the empty container where you can put placeholders. Like for example, if I want to put my slider after the expander, you will use a slider placeholder called stempty, which is an empty placeholder. And you use this placeholder here. Oopsie. Up. And I want this at the bottom. So I will put the expander placeholder equal stempty. So this defines a placeholder and a placeholder. And now, if instead I replace the first placeholder with an expander and the second this way, I want my employees to use the slider, and now this is over the expander, so I can reuse this here. But because I'm using placeholder that have been defined beforehand, my expander is going to be on top of the slider. And now I can use my slider to change the data frame on the top. Yeah, I was going off tangent here, but this is another type of layout. The stempty is a placeholder layout that I really love because I'm very used to putting all of my placeholder here on top just to decide, okay, those are the kind of widgets I want to use. And here's a block, a placeholder block, a placeholder block, a placeholder block, and I'm going to stuff all of my widgets in those placeholders afterwards. Actually, you can use it like this instead. With slider placeholder, I think you can. No, you can't. Actually, I thought I could. Yes, I can. If I do it like this, yes. the same way you were using the st container method, you can also use the with placeholder, and everything under this with statement of the placeholder will be put inside this placeholder. Okay, columns. We need columns. Yeah, I went off tangent a lot. Wow. Okay, let's remove those placeholders for now. Yeah, let's remove those placeholders. Let's put back our... Oh, actually, wait. This will stay like this. Employees. This, for now, we are not going to... Yes, st expander. Let's hardcode this here for now. Or let's just put the df. Let's simplify the example. And now we are talking columns. So if you want to divide your Streamlit container into 3 columns or 2 columns, you can add st columns, oopsie, st columns of 2 columns, and call it column 1 and column 2. And again, this is a container, so you can use the with col1, here, to put the slider in the first column, and the with col2 to put this st right in the second column. And there you have it. You have a slider, and the slider updates the text that is next to it. This is a bit hard to read. You will also notice that sometimes this alignment is not, it's very odd. It's aligned on top, like how many employees and I selected, they're all aligned on top. There should be vertical alignment. Alignment. Oh, come on. Alignment equals center. There you go. Now it's aligned on the center. I think bottom may be better. Bottom. No, not bottom is not better. Center. There you go. How many employees? 8 employees. 7 employees. And again, if you're not satisfied, I think there is a gap. If you're not satisfied by the gap between the columns, there's a gap method for large. Oops. Large like this. This is a large gap, medium gap, and I don't know the third one. Small gap. Here's another trick. If you want a very big gap for some reason, you can add a third column, not name it. And if you do it like this, you can put big gap. And you can control the width of the columns. So instead of putting 3 here, you put a tuple. 1, 1, 1. This tells Streamlit that you've got 3 columns, each taking 1 size unit. And here, if instead I want a smaller gap, I can divide it by 2. And here is a half the size of the slider and the text. Or instead, I can put 2, and this will be twice the size of my other columns. So this is a very nifty way of controlling the size of the columns instead of using the fixed gap method or some kind of crazy CSS, CSS manipulation. Oh yeah, we went through a lot on this one. And I forgot something. There was an st-set page config, but because I showed you beforehand, st-set page config, you can add a page title, like that was a lot. Title, let's title. Page icon, you can add a page icon equals, and I think it is going to be a string of an emoji, and then you can put the wide layout. Layout equals wide. And now you can see on the tab, you can see the emoji, the title, and Well, the white is not going to be very visible here because it's very, very narrow, but here it is. You got your set page config as white, your header, title, expander, data preview here, the columns and the columns. There was a lot of layouts, I agree. Let's head back to day 20. I think this deserves a chocolate. Perfect. Oh, day 20 is a tech tutor space, so this is relaxed day. Head to day 21. ST progress. ST progress displays a progress bar that updates graphically as the iteration progresses. Well, let's go back to our Streamlit app and apparently import time and add a new title. Oh, now we're using title instead of headers. ST progress, ST, whatever. At this point, no, we don't really care. With ST expander about this, and now that we know more containers, we can use them about this app, and we can add some success. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you about those. I used warning beforehand. I think I remember I used warning. So with the warning method, it will put your text in a warning sign, but you also have the success. Yeah, I don't know how to write success. Let's put warning. Oopsie. Shoot. French. Warning. And error. Save. Hello. Green, yellow, red. I think it's the opposite. But anyway. Oopsie. Like this. That is absolutely not what we are here for. So here we are going to use a progress bar. So my progress equals st progress of 0. And then for percent complete in range 100, first we're going to sleep a little, because we are very sleepy. And then afterwards we can just write the percent progress. So we are simulating a progress here. Like we are 100 times going to go through this time sleep and then write it down. Here you go, you got this right. A lot of writing. Okay. And here we've got our empty progress bar. It works like the placeholder you saw beforehand, which means that this is kind of like a placeholder and you can use it to update it using the progress method, where you are going to put the percent complete and stop writing stuff. And now the progress bar goes from 0 to 100 in around 5 seconds. Yeah. So in 5 seconds, we are going from 0 to 100. And at every iteration, this my progress will update the progress bar placeholder to put the new value of the percent complete that is here. So this is a neat way. Oh, and there's an ST balloons at the end, apparently. So again, up going through the side, the progress bar, and balloons. So balloons is a great way to celebrate the achievement, the completion of a big task. Or you can also use ST toast, by the way, for this. Your task has finished. So now it goes through the progress bar, and then you see balloons and the toast here. Your task has finished. Easy. That may be a little of a pain for you if you want. So there's a Streamlit component. If you know, maybe in Jupyter Notebooks, you may have been using the TQDM component to display a progress bar using arrays, like immediately using arrays. So there is, I will show you here, there is a component that does it for you, like this, that you can use in place of progress, the st progress. But again, this is using an external component, so this is not Streamlit native. Okay, time to go to day 22. We're almost at the end. Wow, stform. Stform creates a form that batches elements together with a submit button. Okay, there's too much text, so I think a demo will be better. Let's first, let's build a form. So st title of form. Okay, and now we are going to use a big placeholder, a big layout container, which is the stform, and give it a key of form. And then here we are going to hide stuff like st header. So they ask you to order your coffee. Let's use the same example. Order your coffee, and let's look for a coffee emoji. Here you go. Missing submit button. I'm sorry, it will arrive later. The thing is, I don't like coffee, so I will put tea instead. Let's put tea. And here we select the tea, so I like selected flavor equals st. Let's put a select box, and here let's ask for a flavor, and as options we will put mango green or black Earl Grey, and a third one. Here you go. Here's a flavor. Oopsie. Yeah, up. There you go. That's better. Here you got your mango green, black Earl Grey, and the third one. Now, just for fun, let's st write this. Don't pay attention to this missing submit button yet. I'm not sure you can do it, by the way. Upla. Mango green. Yeah, I know this is a problem. So let's put this submit button. Submit form. Okay, here's a submit form, and this is not apparent enough, so let's add a primary type so it becomes red. And now change the select box. And did you notice something? The mango gray doesn't update. I told you from the start that whenever you interact with a widget in Streamlit, it will rerun from top to bottom. But here it doesn't do anything. That's because everything that is located inside a form doesn't get updated until you click on this submit form button. So now if I click submit form, the black Earl Grey immediately becomes apparent. So let's we can add some more. Okay, at this point I'm going to okay, please GitHub Copilot, yeah, sugar level, for example, st slider, and then write it down here, write the sugar level. Now up 67, 87, 16, and mango green. Okay, this is a green. Submit form. Now we've got mango green 3. This is great because now you can this here. Well, this submit form is still a button, so you can put a submitted variable. And use this submitted variable here. So now nothing appears until you submit the form. Now that you submit the form, you get the values. And there, submit the form again. Yeah. And here, this is where you can actually, you can save this in a database, send this to an API, send this to GPT-4, OpenAI, or Gemini, or Anthropic, Cloud, or Mistral. I don't care. But this is a form that doesn't do anything until you actually click this submit form. So this is perfect for like everything related to not updating your Streamlit script every time you interact with a Streamlit widget. So this is great. And yeah, there's some more examples, but now we need to deactivate GitHub Copilot and head to day 23. ST experimental get query parameters. I'm not sure they still exist, by the way. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think this has changed. Let's see what happens. Okay, so here I used query st experimental get query parameters, and you can see it tells me to replace it with query params. So let's use query params instead. And query params is not callable. This is normal, and now it's a dictionary. Well, it's an empty dictionary for now, because the query parameters come from the URL. The query parameters should be here. So let's add query parameters. Query parameters like first name. First name equals Toto. And now, the first name Toto appears here. We can add a second query parameters equals Nana. Enter. And now you got the first name Toto and the last name Nana, which is great. There may be other methods on this query params like to dict. Well, actually, this is already a dictionary, but whatever. And st right. Oopsie. There it is. First name Toto, last name Nana. What's the point of this? You may ask. Well, the point is, sometimes if you are on a blog account and you want to send the user to your Streamlit app with the first name and the last name already filled, you can put this link, send the user to localhost, or your Streamlit app with those query parameters already filled for you programmatically with Toto and Nana. And you can reuse this, for example, to use the first name. This will be st query params of get the key, and the key is going to be Toto, first name, sorry. First name, and same with Nana. Last name. And then you can use a st title here. St title of hello first name. First name is not defined. Hello Toto. And now you can just programmatically send a URL with the query parameters to the Streamlit app and pre-fill the Streamlit app with parameters from the URL. It's kind of like saving some states in the URL that you can use to pre-fill your Streamlit app, like st text input. What is your name? And you use this as text. Well, here there's no value. You can put Toto and then st-right name, st-right text. Toto is here. Toto tata titi, Toto tata titi, whatever. But if you want, here, you can use the first name from the query parameters. And now automatically, you can go and edit the total from first name in the URL, like Olive, and immediately it is pre-filled with Olive in the text area. So this is a great way to personalize your form with Streamlit using the URL. STCache allows you to optimize the performance of your Streamlit app. Yes. So let's do it. Let's do this. At this point, I'm riffing. So let's use a new method called loadData, which returns a data frame. Excel. Oh, you know what? Let's put a path here as a string, and it should return a PD data frame. Found that as data frame, and here we return, let's call it d equals PD read Excel of path, and then return this. And you know what? We're going to simulate that this file is very long. Very long. So time sleep for 3 seconds, because, you know, very, very large file. And now we df equal load data of our path, which is the stores.xlsx. Let's add a title reading stuff. Book. Yeah, perfect. Reading stuff. Load data. And let's actually write it in. You know what? At this point, you're used. Sometimes you will see that I prefer to use the actual name. When you get used to the Streamlit API, instead of using write everywhere, I mean, when you don't know what kind of variable df is, you tend to use write and let Streamlit handle the method to use on it. But if you know it's a data frame, just use the stDataFrame method immediately, because this provides you with additional arguments like height, id index equals true, because I don't like this index here. And here we go. Oh, it was very long. See? Very long. And again, I want to change the header equals 1. And you see, while loading the data is very long, especially if, remember, selected columns equals st multiselects of preview columns, and then up, df columns. So remember this, creates a multiselect where the content of the multiselect are those columns here. So whenever I change a column, you can see it becomes gray for 3 seconds, because when I interact with this multiselect, it reruns the script from top to bottom. So it rereads the load data for 3 seconds before displaying anything. Like here, we only want the selected columns. And this is a pain. This is long. And those are the reasons why people say Streamlit is horribly slow. Oh, this is slow, this is slow. But we don't really need to rerun this load data every time, because if the path doesn't change, well, you know, the result of this load data path didn't change. If I interact with this widget, they should be the same. So why not put it into cache? So the way to put this into cache is to add the stCache decorator here, cache data. And now the first time it will run the load data for 3 seconds. And the second time, if I ask for the manager, oh, holy moly, it is very fast now. That is because, again, I interact, the script runs from top to bottom, so the load data of the path this path didn't change and the body of the method didn't change. So the cache data will look for the previous result and reuse it instead of rerunning the function. But for example, if I change the function again, like useCalls for B to F, and I save, it's going to rerun the method because the body of the function has changed, so you don't have the same results. And now, again, I can just select any columns to preview again, and it will preview it. So this is the way to use the cache data. It is mostly to put in cache data. There's another one that you may have seen, which is called cache resource. Compared to cache data, the cache resource puts in cache every global resource across multiple sessions. So this is a Streamlit server, and one browser is connected to the Streamlit server here. And what you put in cache data is limited to this session, to this browser. If another browser connects to your app and use cache data, it will also be isolated to his own cache, or her own cache, or its own cache. If you use cache resource, this will be a global resource that is shared across all sessions. Here, we use cache data to load data, but if you're, for example, loading a database client, you know that this is something that you kind of want to reuse across sessions sometimes. So instead, here, you will use the cache resource so that every time you return the database here, if it's a client to the same table, to the same database, and there's no, authentication problems, like I have the rights to query this database using this user, then you can share this across multiple sessions using the cache resource. TensorFlow models, machine learning models in cache resource because everybody is going to use the same model, and you don't want to reload the model every time your script reruns from top to bottom. So those are the differences between cache data and cache resource. There's a lot of documentation in the Streamlit docs that you may want to go and check. And I think we are heading to day 25. I already teased this one. Remember when I said, remember the part where I was saying that these employees, there was an employees variable, remember? I don't remember the day, but there was an employee variable that I wanted to set up for the whole duration of the app, and not just for just this rerun script, that script rerun. Or maybe another example is, let's head back here. If I have a button, here, if I click on this button, it becomes true, but only for the duration of this script rerun. So if I add a slider, like slide me and 0 to 100, notice that when I write down the ST button, I need to clicked variable. I put the clicked here. If I click on it, it becomes true. When I slide, it goes back to false. But sometimes you want this to be kept at true because this button may be like a login. Like, I don't know, like a login, logged in, for example. And when you click on it, you want it to stay logged in because you are going to put a if clicked, then st write the clicked like this. Up, logged in, true, and when you slide, it goes back to false, and you're sad. So you kind of want to keep this in what we call session state, which is a state that is preserved for the duration of the state of the browser here. So for this, we're going to use st session states. St session state is a dictionary that is kept alive for the duration of the session. I am going off rails, totally off rails, but one of the best practices in Streamlit here is to initialize those session states. For example, logged in, not in st session state, then initialize it to false. Let's add a title, log me in. Wait, what is the problem with this? Right now, I'm 2 hours in, so I'm kind of tired, so I'm going to please fix it. Oh, what did I do? Oh, okay, thank you. There you go. Nope. Okay, I had to restart everything. Okay, now I restarted everything. I don't know what I did. Maybe I replaced st session state with something, so I think anyway, I restarted everything. So if I write down session state, now it's logged in false. Okay. Now what I can do is I get this button, st button, login, and then if putting this clicked here and this doing like, instead of doing this logged in variable, and if logged in st write hello you, login hello you, and then if I add a slider like this, login slide, it disappears. I don't like it. Actually, maybe I won't. Let's put it in green because it's easier to read. Hello you disappears. Instead of using this logged in, I'm going to use the session state. st session state logged in. Now it's false, it's always false. But here I am going to call what you can do here. You can do if logged in, you can put this st session state of logged in to true like this. And now if I click on this button, this should go to true, and then you should be logged in. Log in, hello you, and you can, as you can see, even if I slide the slider, the logged in stays true, the logged in from the session state, and you can still interact with the slider, and you're still good to go. Now, instead of using this way of interacting with session state, this button here, I think my preferred way of doing is to put this in a kind of a callback method. For example, log in and put the st session state logged in to true, and in the button callback on click, I am going to use the login method. I need to reload the session because I want to reset the logged in session state. And now here you can see the slider, the login here. And if I click on this login button, it will call back the login method and log me in from session state. So login, session state becomes true, and then the hello you displays. The order it triggers all of this is, let me reload again. When you click on the login, it first runs the callback, so the login method here, and then it reruns from top to bottom. So this is true now. We rerun from top to bottom. So when we display the session state, it goes to true. And then because the logged in is true, now you've got your login here. And this is the way to preserve variables and values around your app without, without being troubled. I don't know what I wanted to say here. One last thing. Here's a special trick. This slider here, if you give it a key, like slider, and always rerun, wow, did you notice? There's a new slider variable in session states. Whenever you interact with a slider, or whenever you interact with a Streamlit widget with the key argument here, one of its role is to preserve the state of the widget in session state so that you can reuse it in the callback. So actually you can, if you want, do some computation here using the session state slider. I don't know, for example, if you want to put cuckoo equals st session state of slider and change the slider, log in. Now cuckoo is at 35. You can edit the slider, log in again, the cuckoo becomes 89. Okay, log again, 43. So this is one of my favorite things in Streamlit. This is very well hidden in the documentation, but this key argument, you can put it basically everywhere to retrieve the state of the widget. Like, for real, this is like one of the strongest hidden tips for Streamlit. Oh, you can add an unchange, for example. I think the callback is unchange, and then, you know, do login also if you want. And here, up. Anytime you slide, the unchange logs you in and changes the cuckoo to the slider value. Awesome. There are lots of other tricks here, but it's time to go to day 26. Okay, I think day 26, day 27, I think they're all use cases. And not gonna lie, I'm tired, and you've actually seen most of the advanced Streamlit tricks. Like really, the Streamlit is Python looping. Every time you interact with a widget, you rerun from top to bottom using the new variables that come from session state, or from the state of widgets. And then if you don't like this looping method, this looping life cycle, you can use session state with callbacks. You can use form. You can use placeholders and layouts. You can use all of those tricks to manipulate the way you use the Streamlit app. But fundamentally, for me, Streamlit is a Python playground. You open Streamlit, you're a little bored, you import NumPy as NP, you go look for another library that you want to learn, like for example Altair. I don't know anything about Altair. And then import pandas, because pandas is important. And then you load your data, your pandas data, return pandas read Excel of stores xlxx, something like this, and you put this in cache because at this point you're used to it. Then you df load data, this, you have to write your df, it tells you there's no such file directory. xlsx, I did a mistake, so change the thing. This is totally improv. Then here you see that it's not the correct column, so header equals 1. You try header 1 and then put the columns. Use cold equals b to h, something like this. B to h doesn't work because the bound doesn't exist, and here you go. Right, use data frame because you know it's a data frame, and now you can hide the index. Not the index like this. Hide index equals true. Okay, now you can build a chart with altair chart. And then here, maybe, you know, you're not really sure how to do it, so you ask GitHub Copilot to build a chart. Okay, just accept it and see what happens. No attribute mark circle. This is because it should be like this. Enable to determine the store name. Store name doesn't exist, so just put store. There's no longitude, latitude, so let's put employees. And I don't know, manager. There's no address. Yeah, this doesn't exist. Let's just remove the tooltip. And here you go. You got the altair, and now you can add some more stuff, like add the title. No, add a title to altair charts. Yeah, better. And now this I remove, and here's a title, and now I know I can go check other things. Okay, there's no quarks on properties, but you can go read the documentation here and try to see if there are other like fill. Maybe that's the color. Maybe we can fill it in red. I don't know. I have no clue. So no, you don't use red like this for a fill. So maybe that's not how you do color. Maybe you do color like this. No, this is not. No, this needs a column. So you need to add the column here. So instead here you use df and then add a column like df color equals red, and then return df. And now you can use this as a color. Use this as a color. And here you go. It's not red, it's blue. That's maybe not how you define the color. Maybe it's fill color. Maybe it's fill color. It's not fill color, but I will find it. I don't know how it is, but I need to read the docs. So you go read the docs, and you know, that's how you play with it. For me, Streamlit is a library to build data apps, okay, or dashboards, okay. But fundamentally, because of this live reload looping Python from top to bottom every time you change something, for me it's more of a Python playground where I see a new package, I install it, I try it in the playground, I see what happens, and I decide if I want to keep it or not. Like Prophet or TensorFlow, PyTorch, Hugging Face, like you can install Hugging Face. I think that's day 29 by the way. Day 29 is, or day 30 is installing Hugging Face and just running Hugging Face models in Streamlit and see the output of the model. This is really how I use Streamlit for. So for you, now that you know the Streamlit basics after this like 3 hours of coding together, take a break, come back to your workstation, choose a Python library, install it, and build something with Streamlit around this library. I believe in you, data fan. I'll see you around. If you want to go deeper into Streamlit, you could maybe check this video, because now that you're an expert, you should be able to follow this video without suffering. I'll see you around. Bye!